For all my jiu-jitsu friends, 20 episode, how do you say episode?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You speak Portuguese.
Sometimes.
Episode 27.
Alright, we're recording.
How do you say episode in Spanish?
Episode.
Episode 27.
I'm actually not sure of that.
Jiu-jitsu, you choke the guy. Alright. What?
Hey!
Nervous.
Oh, really? The cameraman's here.
The cameraman is now nervous.
Everyone's always want to know, who's the cameraman?
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
We're rolling. Say something in Portuguese to start the show that make you feel less nervous.
No.
Say something.
No.
What's your favorite?
Speak Portuguese.
What's your favorite word in Portuguese?
Sadist.
I don't have
She keeps
one.
calling me a sadist.
You are.
I don't, it's like a horrible thing
It's
to call
like he
somebody.
like makes me do things.
Well,
That's a great way to start the show, Gabriella.
Whoa!
Cut.
He makes me do things. Whoa! This is a family show.
Yeah. There's women
Not
and
those
children.
kinds of things.
Women and children at home.
You see?
Let's keep this PG. All right. Are you ready?
I don't know. Go. Well, who's gonna keep track of the time?
I got you.
Oh.
Don't
Here,
worry.
I'll do this.
No, we got it. We're here. We're starting at 12:45. We're good. You got 20 minutes.
Okay.
Right? Yo! What's up, guys? Chris Tutela. And I am alongside not only my friend, colleague, and co-host.
You forgot.
That's
Ruben Borges.
Yeah.
Alright, I went
So
blank
you guys,
there.
we're live, so now you see the fuck up.
That's your cue.
Okay? But not only am I alongside Ruben Borges today, I am alongside the lovely
The what?
Gabriella
Gabriella
Borges.
But she's Borges.
Oh no, but I'm not
We are
related to
not
this guy.
related. That is my last name.
That is
also.
creepy.
I don't really use my
But she
last
said it like, I am Ron Burgundy. And welcome to episode number 27 in Portuguese.
27.
27 of TTS Talk. Welcome to the show, Gabriella. I'm excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, you're always here filming. She's
Yeah.
the woman behind the scenes. She's always there. She's the cameraman. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
the one who farted that day, and we heard it, but we didn't want to blow
Didn't
response.
happen.
But so welcome to the show. You got some exciting stuff going on, right?
I do.
What do you have? So why don't you tell everybody home what you have going on before we get into the nitty gritty?
That's a loaded question.
All right, so let's talk about what you have going on with yoga. How about that?
All right.
We'll break it down for you.
So I'm opening and Flow Yoga Studio in Oceanport, New Jersey. I have the Sound of Flow podcast that I just released the first episode on about a week or so ago. And I have Rising on Purpose mentorship, which is an online mentorship for yoga teachers, trainees, healers, dreamers.
Wow, exciting stuff. Ruben's a dreamer.
Yeah?
Yeah. I still think I can play for the Mets one day.
Maybe. That's why he wears that hat
Maybe we
every
can make it
episode.
happen. Manifest.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the yoga studio, because this is all exciting stuff. It's all big news for you. So where is your yoga studio going to be exactly? And tell me a little bit about that.
All right, so we are in Russell Hall in Fort Monmouth, Oceanport, New Jersey. What do you want to know? Like, there's just so much to talk about.
I have questions. Sure. Okay.
When did you get into yoga and why?
Whoa.
Or like when did you first start getting into yoga? I actually don't know when.
Yeah, it was about 10 years ago or so. I've always been involved in like some kind of martial arts and just fitness in general. Always wanted, being involved in the arts and then just wanting to take care of my body, right? So it's a huge, huge thing for me. Went into yoga for maybe 6 months, 8 months, whatever it was, and then stepped away from it. Fast forward many years, my life just kind of like went downhill fast. It was like one thing after the other started to happen, and I went into a really deep depression. I talk about this a lot on my Instagram page, and it was just one event led to the other where I was in a really, really bad relationship. It was an abusive relationship. I got really screwed up from it, and that led me to go into a job that I ended up hating, and I was going from one job to the other. So it was just like a series of events that just kept digging deeper as far as like this depression. Yeah. And so here I am, like I'm raising Gigi on my own for the last, you know, she's 14 years old.
Your daughter?
My daughter.
For those that don't know.
So I'm raising her on my own. I'm in a super like horrific depression. I'm working jobs that I hate, and I completely like, you know, I start doing away with all of my friends, like just kind of pushing everybody away from me. I became this like weird loner, just hiding away in my bedroom all the time, and I would do like whatever I had to do to raise G, but that was it, right? So I lost touch with the world, and I lost touch with myself completely. And so fast forward from all of that, and like all of the crying and all of the anxiety and all of the stress that was going on, it came to a point where I just needed to like break out of this. Like something just clicked, and I was like, I gotta do something, right? Because I've always been, you know, just out there and very happy, and
you wanted to get that back.
And I wanted to get that back. Yeah. I lost myself. And it just so happened that as I started to do that, again, always going to the gym and doing things like that, I started to go to the gym again. And that unhealthy relationship that I was in with this person turned out, so we live in the same neighborhood, and he started to follow me into every single gym. And in like a really creepy, fucked up way. Sorry. And
you could curse here, it's okay.
Yeah. And so it was
Ruben says dick all the time.
And so I'm gonna have to use the duck for that now. And so once that started happening, it was like, you know, this was never ending, where I was scared for my life at this point, you know. And so I went back to yoga because it was a little hideaway. It was my only place where I knew that this person wouldn't find me. And I could go, it was a dark room, we would sit there, we would practice yoga, nobody would know I was there. And I didn't realize going back there that I would start to reconnect with myself. And then with that, I started to reconnect with everybody around me, my family, my friends, and started to meet new people. And this world opened up for me.
Through yoga.
Through yoga.
Continued on with
you know, because you do a lot of work internally.
Yeah.
And, you know, it got to a point where I had completely lost my self-esteem and everything that comes along with that. And through yoga, I was able to find this love for myself that I don't even think I had before I went into the depression, you know, where like you don't really even think about like self-love. Like I know now.
Probably not as self-aware.
Yeah.
Until you start really.
I think that's true. The awareness of it, you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So when you do love, you're like, damn, this is a big difference that I felt, you know, for the last 5 years.
Yeah. I think when you do anything physically challenging and hard, and you put your focus and attention into that, you do develop a sense of self-awareness that you may not have had, you know, prior to that. But go ahead.
Absolutely. And so, you know, as I started to develop that, I was just like overwhelmed with like, holy shit, like I'm okay. Like I'm so okay that it's like exuding out of me, and it's like, you know, and now I'm able to give that to other people. You know, I'm able to give that love to other people and support and inspiration of, you know, it starts with you first, and then you can affect the entire universe around you, right? So I say this all the time, and I know it sounds a little bit out there, but I talk about you transform yourself in order to transform the world around you. And, you know, transformation, like people are like, all right, you're fucking crazy, right? Like nobody's gonna transform and like be so enlightened in such a short period of time. But no, but the moment you begin to become happier within, you really, people see that, they feel that energy
feel
is
better
like,
around you. In general, because if you're a happy person or who's just so proud of yourself, and then it just when people are around you, it'll just feel better. I mean,
of course.
I know I try to surround myself always with just people that I know they're happy with themselves, so they can only help and make you happy as well, and it goes both ways.
Right. Well, you're the product of 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So if you're surrounding yourself with people like that, you're going to feel that way too. So I think part of that is probably just because of the group of people that you probably are now surrounding yourself with, and people that you know, like you go to a lot of events and seminars, and you're something that we talk about all the time and encourage our members to do here is, you know, invest in yourself, seek out experts, because when you spend time with these people and you learn from them, you're going to start to become you know, the good traits and qualities that that person possesses. You're going to start to possess them, and you're going to be able to apply that into your own life, into your own business, into your own world. So so go ahead. So you went through all this stuff, and now you're starting to see how much it's benefited you and how much it's helped you. So that led to you opening a studio? Is that kind of the process here?
Yeah, so it got to a point where I was like, whoa, like blown away by like even what was happening with me. I mean, if you would have seen me years ago, you would have never expected that, you know, the change between this hidden away girl to now I'm, you know, I'm out there, and so
very uplifting.
Yeah, and so I wanted to share that with people. You know, I thought people don't talk about it. Like the shit that really is happening in your life, the shit that you really don't want to talk about, people don't talk about it. And there's not really a place for people to talk about it where others are actually listening, right? It's very hard to come by. So it was like an immediate thing. It was very, very clear to me that I just wanted a space where people can come and feel safe and get away from their crazy busy lives, from, you know, just whatever it is that they're going through. And it doesn't have to be like this crazy, like, dramatic story, you know, but if you're going through anything at all, any kind of depression, any kind of sadness, just anything that's stopping you from being at your happiest, then Flow is a place to just go reconnect with yourself so that you could go out and do all the good things.
That's cool what you said, reconnect. Some people just need a quick, like, you know, you say reconnect, they realize, all right, hold on. Almost like a pause from all the nonsense that's going on. They reconnect with themselves. Then they go back at it to deal with those problems, but now the right way. And maybe they have an answer to solve it or to get better. I think they go
and that's great, because it's like you're reconnecting with yourself, but you're disconnecting with all the bullshit that goes on outside of, we say it all the time in here, in the gym, in yoga studios, martial arts gyms, whatever. You're disconnecting with all the other shit that's going on in your life, because there is a lot of stuff going on. You got to pay fucking bills, you got taxes, you got this, you got that, you got all these other things that cause that emotional stress, right? And it stresses you in a way, in an unhealthy way. But then when you come in, you disconnect from all that shit, you reconnect to yourself, you focus more on the hard physical work and stressing yourself physically. That leads to some type of adaptation where now you're developing like a resiliency to the stresses, the psychological stresses that we put on ourselves, the emotional stress that we put on ourselves outside of that safe place, if I'm going to start speaking yogi.
And you know, just to touch on like what you were saying before and everything that you're saying now, right? So involving myself with people who are this way, motivational, inspirational, and, you know, who are go-getters, who are really chasing their purpose and
that want to move forward.
That started, again, and I want to just stress this, with loving myself first, because you have to be able to say no to the things and to the people that are not going to allow you to move forward. And if you're not comfortable within yourself first to do that, then you're never even going to find that circle. You're not properly going to surround yourself around those people. So it's right here. Who am I going to allow in my space? It's about you. You make yourself happy, you know? And so that's when you go and you seek out the people who you do want in your space, and it just, and those people are like-minded, so it just works, you know?
I love that.
You say that too, and it's like, because that's the hard part, I guess, for people to do. Sometimes it's their family member, and they don't realize, like, all right, this person doesn't mean I have to completely eliminate them, but they can be such a big factor in my life because maybe they're just very negative, or maybe they put you down constantly. And like you said, eliminate from that. Be with like-minded people that are always pushing you to be forward. They'll hold you accountable as well. But there's a difference between putting someone down and holding someone accountable. those are like two different worlds. So you want to be with those people like-minded that hold you accountable but are not negative at putting you down.
Absolutely.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, when does your place open?
Yes, I'm excited.
Great question, Chris.
Dynamite.
Well, why don't you talk about that a little bit? So before you get into that, like, you're getting into this new business, right? So this is a new world for you, and like really, you know, having your own thing. Like, this is yours now, right? So you decided to do that because you've seen how much yoga has helped you in your own life, and you want to give that back to other people now, right? So that's awesome. So you're doing this for the right reasons. Now you have to make that transition, and now it's like, okay, now I want to turn this thing that I love into a business, and something that I sure as hell had a lot of experience with, right? So now, like, how has that process been for you, and kind of like what are some of the steps that you've gone through once you made that decision until now?
Yeah, it has been really challenging, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes of building the business that people don't.
They have no idea.
They, you know, they just don't know. It's just because maybe they haven't been there yet in their lives, right? And so, the most challenging part for me was the transition, right? It was keeping that job that was able to bring in the income that would support the dreams that I have and me living my purpose. And so that's really hard to do, because every day you're waking up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. But then there's like, you know, then there's a dream, right?
Yeah.
So you have to constantly remind yourself. It's so much internal work, again, right? This constant reminder, okay, this is my why. This is, you know, I want to impact millions of people. I see myself doing that. I envision that, right? And it will happen. My goal is to impact millions of people through the practice of yoga, right? And so it's like seeing that makes the transition a little bit easier, even though it's really, 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 really difficult.
Right.
You know, because it's a mind fuck. It really is. Like, one day you wake up and you're like flying and you're like, yes, this is great. And then the next day you're like, I'm never gonna make it. You know?
I can imagine. I know the feeling.
The road that you're going
And it's like this roller coaster. And so right now, to go back to your question about when we're opening, we were supposed to open in January. And here I am, and I'm like telling the world, like, we're gonna open in January, you know?
Yeah, this is a part of the roller coaster. Right?
Yeah, this is part of it. And so, you know, now we're in May. Are we in May? I don't even know.
We are in May.
I don't even know what day it is. This is causing a lot of stress.
That's exactly what it does to you. And so, yeah, and so, you know, I already have a lot of members signed up, and everybody's like knocking down the door saying, oh my gosh, when are you opening? Nice. When are you opening?
I want to stop you there. Let me stop you real quick.
Yeah.
So you had a goal before you opened the doors to bring in 100 new members that you could help and impact their lives, right? And that was, when did you set that goal?
I would say about 7 months ago, when I knew I was opening the studio. My lease was signed.
7 months ago, you set that goal, and what was the deadline you gave yourself?
Only in about 2 or so months. I thought I was going to open in January, so it was.
All right, so you set a goal, and you set it of bringing in 100 members, right? And you set it for January.
Yeah.
So you didn't quite make January, but we're in May, and how many members do you have signed up?
So wait, but I actually
But right there, I stand corrected.
So wait, so I actually, right now I have 125 members signed up to date.
All right, so wait, but hold on. So before you correct me, let's just, okay, actually, I'll correct you first.
So actually, I had not, from the moment that January was approaching and I knew that I wasn't going to open then, I still hadn't really put the word out and started, like, you know, the marketing and reaching out to the neighborhood and community and whatnot. And so from the moment that I did, within those 2 months, I hit my goal and then some.
Wow.
And I say that because envision it, structure it, and go for it.
Right.
And it will happen.
Ooh, coin it. That was good.
It will happen.
Yeah,
And that's what I tell people all the time is that you have to be so specific with the goal. How many people, by when, give yourself a deadline, and then what are the action steps? What's it going to take to achieve that fucking goal? Because a lot of people have very vague goals, and they'll say, oh, I want to open up a business. All right, great. When? Someday. Okay, well, next week, next year, 5 years, like when? You got to get specific. Okay, and then, all right, once you get specific, what kind of business? You know, all right? Now, how are you going to accomplish that? Do you need funds? Do you need investors? What do you need? But you have to be fucking specific. And I got to say, I'm very proud of you because you made that happen. And that is not an easy task. It's a lot of people that you got, you know, kind of already signed up and ready to go. You're just hoping now you got to get the fucking doors open already.
That's awesome. You really have that many already.
Yeah, 125 and going. I wake up every day, you know.
Just cut real quick. We're at 20-minute mark. Okay. You want to check the camera?
Yeah.
All right, see, cameraman's got to get to work.
She's like, oh, I didn't record it. So you were saying about 125 members that you have already. Continue.
What was
They have them knocking on the door. This is awesome.
I said, when are you going to get the door open already?
So this is the thing. So I never expected that the township was going to delay me, and you know, there's a certificate of occupancy. We built out this whole space. It was like a wide open space. I created new rooms in there. You know, we're going all out in construction, but then that involves township stuff and permits and approvals and things that are like way beyond your control, right? So another thing that I talk about is, and I actually put out a post about this yesterday, where it's set your goals, and you taught me this. So it's set your goals, structure it, and then you may have to course correct. Right? You may have to, because things will come up.
And those things that come up, they may even be within yourself. You might be like, I thought I wanted to do this, but I'm not really feeling it. I recently did that with my online or my remote coaching. Like at first I thought I wanted to do training programs and all, but I just, let's say, I got to make a shift here. I think I'm going to do strictly nutrition, and that's been working out incredibly well. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, and so that's where, you know, understand that things can happen, that you may need to course correct and, you know, figure it out along the way. And that's just part of it, right? Because with struggle, with challenge, comes growth. So it's like any time now that something like that the town tells me another week, I'm like, I'm grateful for this challenge. I don't know what else to say.
So you can really do it. Start rubbing your feet together.
And that's all you can do, right? Because it's just beyond your control. And so patience comes along with that, and just trusting the process, being patient with it, trusting that it will work out so long as you stay the course. Don't freaking give up. Just keep going. Because nothing's easy that is worth it, right? Nothing's gonna be
and keep going in the sense where you're doing the work that counts. And Ruben and I were just talking about that before we started recording. Was you could get very lost in doing busy work and shit that is like, okay, we're busy, so we don't feel lazy, but we're doing the shit that's not really making a difference. It's like you could go outside with a fucking jackhammer, right, and we could just start digging a hole, or a sledgehammer, right, and we're just smashing and digging this hole and get a shovel. And we're doing this work, but we don't really get anywhere. I think that's what a lot of people do. They expend so much energy doing busy work, but not really the meaningful work. So it's finding out like how to separate what really matters, like what matters most, what's the work that's really going to make a difference in your life and in your business and the people that are surrounding you. Like how am I going to impact these people? Because that's what matters, right? Like that's the reason that we got into this business for the first place. You know, whether you're a coach or you're a business owner, like whatever the idea is, it's like we're all in this because we want to help people. Right, and we want to impact people's lives, we want to change their lives, and if we steer away from that and just do the busy work, you kind of forget what matters, and then you're just doing work for no reason, and you're spinning your wheels.
Yeah, well, it comes
back to dig in the right place.
Well, it comes back to the self, right, and to really digging deep and figuring out what your purpose is, right? So when you figure that out, you start to think about, well, what drives me? Like, what excites me? Like, if you have to wake up at, you know, I don't know, if let's suppose you typically wake up at 7 a.m. and now you have to wake up at 5 a.m. If you have to do that for a job that you don't love, you're not going to do it. You're going to, like, wake up late and you're going to be pissed about it, right?
No, I used to sit up and think, do I have to go? And this is when I used to work. I used to work for Poland Spring Truck Driving Company, and every Monday at like 4:35 a.m. I would wake up sometimes, just be at the bed like this and go, I don't really have to go. I could just go to sleep.
It was the same thing for me, guys.
It was all the time, to a point where even at work, I had this true story. I literally drove the truck to like delivery number 6 out of 75, and I stopped there. I'm like, you know what? I could just take a taxi home, and then let them know later that I just didn't feel like working anymore. And just touch up on that. So don't want to be a part of that.
You didn't do that.
I did it. I thought long hard. And longer than I should have. It was like 5 minutes thinking about that.
I know that feeling.
And that's exactly what happens. But when you do what sets your soul on fire, like truly.
Getting yogi again.
Yeah, of course. When you do the things that like motivate you, like if you figure out what your purpose is, your why, and what you need to be doing, dude, you're gonna get up at 5 a.m., at 4 a.m. because that's gonna drive you, and it's just gonna propel you to the next level. It doesn't, whatever it takes, it doesn't really matter, right? Like this is your business, right? This is your baby. This is like, you love this shit. You will do whatever it takes. I've witnessed it.
To touch up on what Chris said too, when you guys were talking about drive, passion, he was telling you about course correction and everything. That's another thing. Like if you go towards your passion, have that drive, something good's gonna happen from it. So whether it takes you on a different road, it's for the good. It's not a bad off-road. It's just something you didn't expect. But the only way for you to get there is to initiate it by going after your passion first. And then that's how you get to that course correction and everything. So that was cool. Like you said, like, a lot of people think, I'm going to go for this one thing, but who knows what could happen. I don't know. No, it's fine. Go for that one thing. Something good will come from it.
Right. And a lot of that has to do with I'm sorry to cut you off, but just overcoming the fear that's in your way. Like that's the only thing separating you. And I'm not saying that everyone should go out and start a business. Like that's not necessarily the case, but whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to make a change in your life, if you want to start getting healthy and fit and you're not there right now, like usually the thing that's staring you in the face is fear. So just overcoming that fear, getting through that, and realizing, okay, this is here because this thing that I want is very important to me. And there's a lot that could happen out of this. I have to put myself out there, so I have to risk criticism, right? For some reason, we all give a shit what people say, right? So I got to risk criticism, or the fear of failure, or the fear of success. What if I succeed? What if I have 125 members before the doors open, right? Right? That could cause stress and anxiety, which is why a lot of people don't choose to play it safe. Like, let me just do this. I'll work out on my own. That's fine. Man, that's a lot of money to invest in my health and fitness. I can't do that because I need to do this. Like, no, don't lie to yourself. You're afraid. It's fear. It's the only thing that's fucking holding you back. And I'm sorry I went on a rant. I'm sorry I hit you 3 times.
That's a great point because and fear is completely like, it's false, right? It doesn't exist. Right? I mean, what is it? It's either you're thinking about what's going to happen in the future or you're living in the past. And in yoga, we practice that, right? Being right here, right now, not being too far forward in the future or at all, or living our past. We're right here in the now, in this moment, right? And so if you're in this moment and you're fully immersed, if you're flowing, right?
And just to be clear, not flowing like it's that time of the month. The name of the business is not Ant Flow, it's And Flow. So just be careful, you could confuse the two.
Do not pronounce red shirts.
Red shirts like with the paint ribbon like we have, like Ant Flow. Yoga.
So that could be a curveball.
Not a good idea. Kind of creepy. But I don't even know what I was saying.
You're saying within here to be
so you're here. So if you're in a state of flow, then you're not living that fear. Then you're living like this. You start to find this newness even within yourself of like, I'm in this moment. This is good. This is really good.
Now.
You
own it now. Don't think about the past or the future. Maybe forget to own where we're at now. Stop thinking about what's happening ahead or in the past. I think we all deal with it. Own it now.
Well, like I think it's Osho that says it, right? If you are depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. Right? The only thing that matters is the here and now. To be present, fully present and aware. And speaking of flow, like flow states, right? Like we talked about flow states, and I experienced this in my own business. Ruben and I, again, we were talking about this before the camera started, but like there's times in business you got to deal with shit, and I've been so kind of immersed in a lot of the business side of things. I felt very bummed out like the last couple of weeks because disconnected. Right? Yeah. But like then I realized like I was here like the last couple sessions coaching a little bit, and that is where I am fully present. It is a 100% flow state because I am just going. I'm just coaching. I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I know best. And when I leave here, I'm so fulfilled because I hit that. I'm like, wow, I've really got to this human connection, right? Not digital connection, human connection, helping people, having a conversation, coaching. This is what I love to do. And when I was steered away from that because I was so focused on the business, and of course, I still have to focus on the business stuff. It has to get done. Somebody's got to do it, right? I got to be the one to do it. But I don't ever want to forget what I love most in being here and really achieving that flow state, because when you're in that I think is what's one thing that people, they don't achieve that. You achieve it maybe in the martial arts world. You achieve it if you're playing a Sunday baseball game. Like you're at the plate. Dude,
it's a thrill, man. I wake up and then that's just like my other hobby because I love strength training. I love baseball too, and I get up and I'm like, this is just fun, you know.
So
you're not thinking about the other shit. Go ahead.
I want to mix the three things actually, because that's like the absolute goal, right? It's your Dharma, Artha, and Kama, which is what your purpose is. No, simply what your purpose is.
Crazy.
What you do for money, and your hobby, what you do for love, right? So your purpose, money, and hobby, and all those things go together. They have to go together. But you have to live in a place where what you do for money, you're not doing it out of greed. You're doing it out of intention to impact, right? And so you put all of that together, and it has to exist, right? The three of them have to exist. You can't just do what you come in here, you coach, and that's it, like you're on fire. And no, like all of it. That's the goal, right? The whole is the goal.
Yeah, because you have to build it. Yeah, you have to do the work that builds it, right? And that's like a piece of advice that I always give people. They're like, "Hey, man, I'm thinking of starting a laundromat," and I'm like, all right, do you love doing laundry? I get it. Like we need these things. Like we need these things, and there's that is what it's a business that helps people provide for their families. So there's nothing wrong with doing that at all. So don't take that the wrong way. But my point is, like, if you're doing it because you think it can make you money, odds are you're not going to be very happy doing it. So like whatever you invest in, whatever you invest your time in, make sure it's something that really means something here, because if you don't have heart that you're putting into it, one, your customers, your clients, your members, they're going to see right through that shit. If you don't love it, right? That's why like when you see these other places open, like whether it be a fitness place or whatever, it's like
the owners aren't really.
I know, maybe they are, but I know they didn't live this shit, obsess over it for the last 14 years like I have. I know that their eyes weren't bleeding and like going above and beyond, because you do that because you love it. You do that because you care about the people you work with.
And I want to say something. It's, I don't know if I could help anybody out there, just think about this, because we've had this conversation and I had a meltdown, like a major meltdown, when we were like 3 months already past the due opening date, right? And I had my head in my hands. I'll never forget, we were sitting having coffee one day and I just started pouring out tears, and I'm like, I'm freaking 37 years old. I've got Gigi. I had a successful career going. Like, what did I just do? What did I just do?
She just starts crying. Like, hey, what are you doing? Why don't you knock that off?
And I have like a total meltdown. But you know what? Like,
gives her coffee.
Keep drinking more coffee. And so, but the thing is, like, again, doing what you love, right? And so taking myself back to my why and what it is that I'm really doing this for, and the fact that it is something I'm so passionate about. It is something that I'm going to wake up super early, no matter what, and do what it takes. That just keeps me going, and it made everything just so much easier, like when I started to remember that. And so it just, when you do what you love to do, when you find your purpose,
you can deal with
and you thrive
better.
Yeah,
it makes it like, oh, it's just
my God.
Like when you're here coaching multiple times a week at 5 o'clock in the morning, like that's not easy. If you hated this, that would be very hard for you to do, right? I mean, you wake up at 4 o'clock.
So the hard part is the waking up. Once you like wake up at like 4, but once I get here, I'm like, I wake up, I know what I'm going to do. I'm like, all right, do this, you
right.
know?
They're happy to be here,
coaching,
coaching,
working
working
with guys.
people.
The guys come in. I mean, these guys are parked, ready to go. Like, it's awesome. And we're all here. You know, a lot of times we're catching up with the guys, too, real quick. And then we get into what we want to work on, our strength gains, health gains, and our personal life gains, our wellness as well. And it goes a long way. So it's awesome. Look forward to meeting. Shout out to the 5 a.m. crew.
5 a.m. crew.
They don't come quiet. They come they bring it. So.
Yeah, and if you had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go deliver
like
Snapple, like
water,
you know,
like
it's not,
spring.
yeah, like that you didn't love that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like
it makes it
it's a big difference in that waking up process and your excitement to get out of bed in the morning, right?
But I guess like I had lost my train of thought for a moment. I like to talk.
You do. I know you're coming up like 3 times.
But the idea of what I was saying is you can make this change at any point of your life, right? It doesn't matter like what you're going through, how old you are, your circumstances, whatever happened to you in the past, like screw that, like that doesn't even exist anymore. Like it doesn't matter where you are, if you have something that will drive you to just make an impact in this world, just go for it. Do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for the right reasons, be smart about it. Like especially if you're starting a business, don't just blindly say, "I'm quitting my job tomorrow. Fuck it." You gotta be smart about it. You gotta be strategic. Like that all still matters, right? And only do it if you're for the right reasons.
You were saying like, and I forget how you worded it. You said, you know, about my passion, and I'm working at this place that's supporting my passion. And almost that's the way you got to kind of think about it. Just like when I was working at the school and kind of getting to the transferring to the strength coaching world. That all right, this is rough to get up for this, but let me remind myself that this is supporting my ultimate goal.
Well, there's a transition. You can't get away from the transition. You can't just let go of what you currently have, especially if it's income and you're supporting your family and you have a house. You know, like there, you have to take those steps, right? But you know, and it's all baby steps, but you do it. And again, as Chris had mentioned before, like you have your goals and you go, you structure it and you go. Right? Yeah. That's it.
So you've come a long way. Right, in your personal development, you've come a long way in business. The doors are just about ready to open. Where could they find you if people want to get in touch with you? If they want to try out your yoga facility, they want to do yoga with you, they want to get to know you, they want to talk to you a little bit, get to know about your service. Where could they find you?
So you could go on www.30daysandflow.com. Our Instagram page is andflow_yoga. Or you can send me a DM personally on my private Instagram page. That's Gabs, GABS_andflow.
And it's just A-N-D, right?
A-N-D.
Okay, and flow.
And flow.
All right, awesome. And so you're expecting to be open within the next month or so, maybe, right? We're hoping, but we're getting close. She's getting close, right?
Yeah.
So little by little, you're gonna get there. But I just wanted to let you know, I'm incredibly excited for you. I'm pumped for you. I'm proud of you. You've come a long way, and I'm excited to see the people that you're gonna make a big impact out there. That's for damn sure. So get ready to rock and roll.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
I'm excited. Awesome. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out on Instagram. You can shoot me a DM. I am at Chris_Tutela, T-U-T-E-L-A. Rubencito, where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can find me on Instagram as well, at _Ruben, RUBEN_Borges, BORGES. Chris, real quick.
Yes, sir.
That guy who asked about laundry, was it his passion or no?
No.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
That'd be interesting. What if a guy was like, listen, oh man.
Yeah,
I love it. It smells good. I mean,
nothing more I like taking dirty underwear, sticking my nose in it. You get some creeps out there, right?
Maybe it's their common place, man. I love when people just refresh their clothes and clean it.
Whatever you enjoy, right?
Bizarre.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. If you found it helpful, if you enjoyed it, please do us a favor and just share it. Share it on Facebook. Copy the link. Share it to a friend. Whoever you think this will help and impact. You know, it's our goal to make a difference in your lives. So the more you guys talk about the show, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Chris Tutela. Just search that and you hit the subscribe button. But share the episodes. Drop comments on the videos. The more you share this with your friends, the more people we get to impact. So thank you guys for tuning in. It means the world to us. We will catch you next week on another episode of
TTS Talk.
That was was not rehearsed. That was not planned. I don't know where that came from, but he's doing it, and he's still doing it. And
he loves to do it. That's his purpose.
And then we're live, and everybody sees it. And you guys saw it too. That wasn't rehearsed.
Talk.
That and.